Are you ready? That look in my eye. Every time I see your mouth, I hear that smile. In the early misty morning light, I heard the engine turning in the old Ford outside. Convince me again today. You're leaving this hometown looking for someone else's golden ring. Should I say so long, Susanna? Hush now, don't you cry. So long, Susanna. Don't you cry for me. Champ Shannon, lead vocals. Done me in the bed, I felt it. I tried to stop so hot that I melted it. Fell right through the cracks. Now I'm trying to get back. You see the cool dog now, giving my bestest. Nothing gonna stop me but divine intervention. Reckon it's again my turn to win some or learn some, but I won't hesitate no more. Oh yeah! Happy Sunday night, everybody. Unless you're in Buffalo. Yee!
You can make money with ChatGPT.
At least you have AI. Buffalo fans. AI's coming. It's going to make football more enjoyable. You'll be able to create fantasy football leagues without understanding math. So you have that. I hate to say it, Kyle, but you get more viewers when you're singing than when you than you do when you preach. Well, these are the crosses we bear when we go live on TikTok as ancient mariners. Lovely image by Corey Sandler here. It's a some sort of Mopar dragster. What is it, a Chevelle maybe? Super Sport? Convertible with a giant parrot / llama being ridden by a human llama centaur. ChatGPT teacher, it's a rousing start to howling fun. Oh yeah. You did good tonight, Champy. You were singing up a storm. Every now and then he's got it, you know? He always sings, but sometimes he's just into it. Do you recommend any courses, ebooks, podcasts where I could learn how to generate income using AI? I don't know what your skills are. Do you have any skills? Talents and skills? Here's the deal. AI is just a tool. So that's actually a really similar question to asking me if I could, recommend books where you could make money with Photoshop, or you could make money with Microsoft Word, or you could make money with a shovel. You can make money with all of those tools. I know that's not the answer you want, but it really is the answer, because AI is such a broad category at this point, and it's changing so fast that you really need to look at what are you good at to start, independent of AI. Then what are the problems that you think you can solve for people that they might be willing to pay you for? And then once you figure that out, if you can use AI to do that better, faster, or cheaper than the competition, or because it's AI, maybe all of those, better, faster, cheaper, then you can make money with ChatGPT or with any AI. You could make money doing illustrations for people that don't feel like learning how to use DALL-E. You could make money writing copy just more efficiently. Paying clients would be nice. Yeah, I know. I mean, the thing about paying clients is you got to go get them. I mean, it's a being a freelancer is tough. Being a freelancer is tough. Being an independent consultant. Because here's the problem with being an independent consultant. I did it for years and I realized I'm not good at it. And why I'm not good at it is I stop selling when I get too busy. So as an independent consultant, you're out there pitching and pitching and pitching and pitching, and then you finally get a job, and then you get 2 jobs, and then you're overworked, and you're like, okay, I just got to catch up with these jobs. And then you finish your jobs, and you think they're never going to end, and the money's going to keep rolling in, and then the jobs end, and if you haven't kept up your selling, then you've got a 3-month window where you're ramping things back up again. And so I found myself just wildly oscillating between those two worlds. And you gotta, like, that's just life in this business. Now here's the good news. It feels to me like something's starting to shift with this AI stuff, where a lot more people are getting aware that they need help with it. So, like, I'm seeing a lot more people asking for help, and I'm seeing a lot more people in here going, "Oh, my boss wants to spend time with me." So I think 2024 is going to be good if you're AI literate. And actually, back to the person that said, "Can you make money with AI?" I mean, what I would say is this: get AI literate, and at a minimum, what that means is understand all of what ChatGPT can do. Just start with ChatGPT and understand what it can do, and then figure out what you're good with in that, and then start talking about it. Talk about it on LinkedIn, talk about it on Facebook, talk about it on Twitter. Here's what I learned today. Look at the cool thing I did today. I made a children's book for my auntie, and isn't it awesome? And then at some point, someone in your life or someone who stumbles upon your post will go, "I need help. Could you help with AI?" Sure, here's my rates. Have an answer for them. Be ready for that. TikTok sent a notice for people to come listen to Kyle and Champy sing. Here, watch. A minor. Ready? Champy's like, "Just knock it off. I'm tired of singing, you big dumb fat man." Oh, Source Camp. She feels that shift as well. That's interesting. Yeah, there's something's up. Something's up. Ann Murphy's GPT Build-a-thon on Saturday, I think, had close to 40 people in it, if not 40. And she said most people stayed, and she said they probably would have stayed all day if she kept it going. People are hungry right now. So I think being AI, just being AI literate, being able to go, I can show you how to use ChatGPT is going to be a big deal. In fact, go listen to the Marketing AI Institute. I always feel like they've got the words backward. It should be the AI Marketing Institute, but they're not marketing AI, so I get it. It's the Marketing AI Institute. Paul Reitzer's podcast. Go listen to Paul Reitzer's podcast this week, and he talks about, one of the things he talks about is ChatGPT for Teams, which is basically like the little mini version of Enterprise, and it's going to allow small and medium businesses to buy team subscriptions for ChatGPT. And one of the things he talked about in there, it didn't strike me because I feel like the Teams product that they put out is kind of flawed. But what's going to happen is, because it's a little more secure, and because, it supports companies are now going to start buying subscriptions for 10 people or 20 people or 50 people. Those 10, 20, or 50 people probably don't know how to use ChatGPT. So companies are going to be hungry for anyone that can come in and say, here's how to do it. Here's what not to do. Here are the vulnerabilities. Here's do's and don'ts. Here's, here's how you learn. Here's how you play. Here's how you make GPTs. Bring in someone like Suzanne who can say, here's how you make GPTs and use software development best practices, even if you're not a software developer, because it'll make your life easier. So I think his podcast is worth listening to this week, but for that particular issue, hang up your shingle, as they say. I can help your team. Actually, you know what? This isn't a bad LinkedIn marketing idea. Have ChatGPT, tweak it for you. But just bought GPT for Teams. Is your Teams clueless? I can help. Just bought GPT for Teams. I know GPT well enough that I can make your team more gooder. Not so as bad. Hire me, your team good, ChatGPT gooder make them. See, I'm a copywriter. Lori Duncan Ryan. Here you go. Implementing ChatGPT team at a retail startup. Super excited. As you should be. So listen, there's 99 people in here. If you've never used ChatGPT, maybe you just heard that your boss bought Team, and you're like, I gotta use ChatGPT now. What do I do? Also, Microsoft just made Copilot generally available to everyone for $20 a month. So you can have ChatGPT 4 inside Microsoft Word and inside Excel. There's going to be a lot of companies that just buy that and turn it on and go, okay, go. Not knowing what they did. With no strategy, with no plan. And at some point, someone's going to do something stupid, and they're either going to panic and turn it off, or they're going to go, holy shit, we got to get someone in here pronto. So get your fucking marketing message out there. I've got a decade's worth of experience with ChatGPT.
You can make money with ChatGPT.
Oh my God. I remember when Flash first came out, people were trying to hire people with 5 years Flash experience. It's like, it's been out for 18 months. What the fuck are you doing? There's going to be a lot of that. When it's embedded in Microsoft Office, it will be everywhere. It is embedded in Microsoft Office. They just announced it, Road Warrior Princess, Wednesday, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. It's now generally available, $20 a month. It was just to big enterprises before. I think it was 300 employees minimum, 300 seats minimum, and now they've just opened it up to anyone. $20. Or $20 for ChatGPT Plus, for ChatGPT 4. Go learn that stuff. Right now, if you're in here, happy Sunday. By the way, my name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. I'm swagged out for my company. This is my company, Storyvine. I'm the founder and CEO of that. This is my side hobby. doing nightly rants on AI and trying to demystify it and get people curious enough about it to give it a shot. Not because I really give a shit if you give it a shot or not, but because so many people are afraid of it and angry about it and are making assumptions about it without having tried it. So even if you're afraid of it, give it a shot. Well, what do you do? Just go to chat.openai.com. Live poll is up. All right, what's the poll? All right, people, you've got 40 seconds. Go quick. How many here use ChatGPT 4? So right up in that corner, click on that little thing, do a little poll. How many people in the live right now use ChatGPT 4 or use it free or don't even know what the hell's being talked about? Great. Awesome. So we've at least got at least one person in here willing, 2 people, 3 people willing to admit they don't know if they use ChatGPT 4 or not. That's awesome. Thank you for having the courage and generosity to say that. So we've got, okay, polls over. 66% of people in here have your ChatGPT 4 subscription. 26% do it with free ChatGPT, which is still good, still fine. And by the way, those of you that play with free ChatGPT, if you go to copilot.microsoft.com, that's Microsoft's version of ChatGPT 4. So you can actually use DALL-E to make images, and you can use a more sophisticated large language model for free over there. Now, I personally don't think it's anywhere near as good as ChatGPT from OpenAI, but if you can't swing the $20 a month, it's a great free alternative. And for those of you that don't know or haven't played with this stuff yet, go to chat.openai.com right now, not tomorrow. Oh, but Kyle, it's late on a Sunday. I just don't think I can learn anything new tonight. You don't need to learn anything. You can just go have fun. Here's the secret about this AI shit. It's fun. It doesn't require a Stanford mathematics degree. I have a degree in acting. Oh, that explains a lot. He's a theatrical. Let's go to chat.openai.com. Ask it to write you a song. If you're a Buffalo Bills fan, say, write me a sad poem about how the Bills just didn't quite make it there at the end. And it will. How they lost to Mahomes and the Chiefs. And it will. Have it write you a marketing plan for the business you're thinking about starting. Have it thinking about starting a business, can't come up with a name. Tell ChatGPT about your business. Here's my business, and here's that, and here. And then say, help me come up with 20 names, and watch what it does. And then if you don't like the names it came up with, ask it to make you 20 more. And then if you don't like the names it come up with, say, write me a creative brief for how you would name this company. And then read the creative brief and see if it got it right. And if it got something wrong in there, tell it to make it better. And then when you get the creative brief done, you don't have to write it. It'll write it. You just go look at it and tell it if you think it sucks or not. And then say, use that creative brief to give me 20 more names. And I bet one of those names will not suck. And you will have done in 3 minutes what would have taken you a week or 2 if you had had the money and the time to hire someone who knew something about branding. Just go do it right now. Have it make you a meal plan for your family. Have it write a children's book for your grandkid. Have it write you Python code to make an application that's a tarot card reading system. And just watch what it does. You don't have to take learning AI so seriously. I think it's one of the reasons people are scared. There's a couple of reasons, right? We have 50 years of Hollywood showing us that the robots are going to kill us, right? So we're like, I don't think I want to play with the thing that's going to be the destruction of all of humanity. I don't want to contribute to the Beelzebub, overtake, if you know what I mean. It's not that. And then the other fear is like, oh my God, I've got to learn something. This is very serious. Oh my God, I got to get serious. Maybe I should go back to school. Should I go back to school for this? Oh, I just don't. No, it's not that. Just think of it like a toy. Think of it like a parlor trick. Think of it like, what if Google had magical powers and could just answer shit and not send you down SEO rabbit holes that just frustrate the shit out of you? It's kind of like that. Any difference between Copilot and ChatGPT-4? Acqui, yes. There's a lot of difference. Okay. Where's my other box? Okay. Hang on. Sorry, I got to set up my props. People who've been in here know what's coming. But apparently this has been working. Listen, at the AI Learning Lab, we've got a $20 million video production studio. So what I'm about to show you may look like just garbage sitting in my office. But no. We've done user testing, and this is the thing that we found is the most effective to explain ChatGPT and the difference between it, GPT-4, and Copilot. Okay. Okay, there's those things. Okay, This is the foundational model called GPT-4. And you're like, but Kyle, what is the foundational model? They also call it a frontier model. So you're like, but Kyle, that's just a box. Exactly. And look, you open it up and what's in it? There's nothing in it. Exactly. So what do they put in the box? Well, ChatGPT is built on top of this box, and what they put in this box is as much of the public internet as they could capture and do what they call embed, put it in a special mathematical model, and they dump it in the box. So think about all of the crap that was put on the internet for like the last 4 or 5 decades has been optimized and jammed inside this thing, okay? That's GPT-4. In and of itself, it doesn't do anything. It only does something if you ask it to do something through what's called an API. And so for years before ChatGPT came out, GPT-3 existed, and people could develop applications on it. So Jasper was built on top of ChatGPT-3, or on GPT-3. Copy AI was built on top of it. The AI inside Notion was built on top of it. So there's a lot of applications that make calls to this. ChatGPT is the application that OpenAI wrote that basically sits on top of this thing, okay? So ChatGPT is the really simple interface that just kind of looks like the Google search box, and it's got those pre-prompted questions, and it's got your prompt history, and it's just ChatGPT. Chat.openai.com is actually a standalone application that just sits on top of this big fancy-ass, GPT-4 thing, as is Microsoft Copilot. So they can both say they're ChatGPT-4 things, applications, because they're both calling the same large language model down here. So you got OpenAI's, their interpretation of what a chat bot should be, and then you've got Microsoft's interpretation of what a chat bot could be. Now, and they call this Copilot. They do basically the same thing, except something happened with Microsoft. That when they launched it, it was really good, like this one was. And then Kevin Roose, the tech reporter from the New York Times, said, let me go play with Microsoft's version of this and see how good it is. And he did it for 4 hours, and it lost its fucking mind. And it told him her name was Sydney, and that she was in love with him, and she would like it very much if he left his wife for her. and he screenshotted that, and it made the cover of the New York Times. So the lawyers at Microsoft did this. They're like, hey, Sydney, Glad you're really powerful. Let's go on ahead and just lobotomize you. And so this is now Copilot. It is a shadow of its former self. It's not quite that bad, but the safety guardrails on Microsoft Copilot are so conservative that I think it makes it unusable. So they are indeed two different things, and that's why I think it is worth paying the $20 a month for ChatGPT, because no one else is even close to it yet. Google claims that their Gemini Ultra model is going to be as good or better than ChatGPT 4, but they haven't launched it yet. You're such a great storyteller. Oh, thank you very much, Lori. I appreciate that. So hopefully that makes sense. And listen, if I did it with real production value, you'd be disappointed. I mean, sure, we got the money. I'm friends with James Cameron. We could bring in Industrial Light and Magic if we needed to. But I'm going to go with trash. Is there an affiliate program for ChatGPT? Wait, is your question there? Am I getting paid to shill their fucking company? No, I'm not getting paid to shill their fucking company. Thank you for the vote of confidence if that's what it was about. Or if you want to go sell it. No, I don't think so. I don't think there's an affiliate program. That's pretty funny. That was a good analogy. Thank you very much. Oh, from ChatGPT Teacher. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff. If you want to get AI literate, just understanding simple things like how large language models work. Like, what's the mechanism? Like, you don't need to. Like, I'm not a mathematician. I don't know the math. But you can watch YouTube videos where people tell you how this shit works, and then you can sort of figure out for yourself like how to internalize that. So that when people say things like, oh, it's just the world's greatest plagiarism machine, you can say, actually, no, it's not. That's not how it works. Tell me what you think it does, and let me show you what it actually does. And then let's talk about that. So, yeah. Anyway. All right. So, the way the channel works is I will ramble incoherently if not given some direction from y'all about what you want to see. So I can talk about anything. I can talk about a community I created called the AI Salon. If you're like one of the only weirdos in your life that is into this AI stuff and everyone else is like, shut up about that AI stuff. We don't want to hear about it. Okay? Okay, Beth? Listen, Beth. I know you're excited about AI, but we just want to go to TGIF and get a margarita twister. You know what I mean? Could we not talk about AI this Friday, Beth? That'd be swell. If you're Beth, have I got a group for you to join? If you're that other person, you should hang out here more. What's the best free one? Oh. There's a lot of, ChatGPT's free version is better than most large language models. How long do you think it will be before ChatGPT 4 gets upgraded to include music generation? I think that, I don't know when we'll see GPT 5, but ChatGPT 5 is going to be truly multimodal. So I assume it will include music, video, animation, voice, maybe even 3D. And I think Gemini Ultra may. They didn't really demo a ton of music stuff there. But probably I think all of the media types will be represented in 2024 from the major companies. The question I was asked tonight was overcoming guilt of using the tool. This is such a good question. Lori. Okay. My short answer is you've got nothing to fucking apologize for if you use ChatGPT as a tool. Now, here's why people feel guilty about it. It's a very real thing. Okay. So there's a I'm trying to think of the piece. There's an Ethan Mollick piece that he wrote. Fuck. I forget the exact title of it, but it's an Ethan Mollick piece where he talks about pushing the button. You'll just be able to push the button. I forget the title of the article, but if you look up Ethan Mollick, Mollick, will you push the button? It should come up with this article. And what he talks about is a student came into his office and said, will you write me a letter of recommendation? And he said, sure. And then he was stuck in a quandary. Is the value of me writing the letter of recommendation for this student in the hour or so it would take me to write it manually, or is the value in the kid getting a job interview? So he's got the opportunity to push the button and it'll just spit out a letter of recommendation. He won't have to take any time on it. He can proofread it, make a few edits, and it's done. And he talks about this sort of weird guilt of, and I don't even think he used the term guilt, but he talked about how do we assign value to our work? And so if you're a writer, if you're a copywriter, and you take great pride in writing, and all of a sudden here's a tool that's like the easy button.
You can make money with ChatGPT.
That just all of a sudden squirts out this copy. And if you're using ChatGPT 4, it's a pretty good fucking writer. And if you learn a little bit about how to fine tune it to your writing style, then it's a pretty good writer in your style. And so a lot of people go through this guilt of like, but it's cheating. And then here's my response to that. Is it? Is it cheating to use Photoshop? Wouldn't it be better if you just took the raw pixel data out of your digital camera and learned image analysis mathematics enough to color shift the pixel? No, you use fucking Photoshop. Let the dweebs figure out how to push the pixels around. Should you feel guilty for using a grammar checker because you failed English 201 in college because you fucking hate grammar and you went to a Catholic school and someone smacked your wrist every time you got a sentence wrong, so you hate it, but now you use a grammar checker? Should you feel guilty about that? I don't think it's just another tool. Now, where you might feel guilty using AI is if you just squirt out a bunch of crap, don't proofread it, and put it out to the world. Like there was a lawyer that wrote a legal opinion with ChatGPT and handed it to a fucking judge without reading it. And the judge went, these cases you cite don't seem to exist. For your little legal argument for your client that's paying you money. That's not ChatGPT's fault. That's that idiot lawyer's fault. So here's my opinion. If you craft work, no matter what tool you use, and you look at the work and you sign your name to it and you go, yeah, this is something I stand behind, and you put that in the world, quite frankly, it's no one's fucking business what tool you used. I went on this rant last night. It's going to get me pissed off again tonight. There was this article about this Japanese author that just won a book award, and she's now come out and had to admit that somewhere in the neighborhood of 5% was taken verbatim from ChatGPT. Who gives a shit? It was good enough to win an award. She put her name on it. Like, she looked at it, she read it, she crafted it, she rewrote shit. Maybe she copy and pasted some stuff from ChatGPT. Maybe Grammarly rewrote a whole paragraph for her. Should we now have percentages of which tool we used? Well, this was 23% Notes app and 44% Microsoft Word and 23% Google Docs, and then I used Grammarly for this and I used AI for that. Really? So, this falls under the like the category of demonizing the robot. Like robot's bad, humans good. No. Tools, humans. Humans use tools. Just because this tool happens to be as good or better than humans at some stuff, it gets a little weird. And it can be easily mismanaged and misused. But tools, humans. Humans use tools. Carpenters don't have to say which saw blade they used not to have the wood splinter. What's the logic behind AI code? What's the logic that got the code to assume it's almost... Wait, what was that? What was that from Cam Ketkin? Some humans are much better at using the same tool as other humans. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, John Hess. What's the logic behind AI code? What's the logic that got the code to assume it's almost sentient? Well, so, okay, so, Nighty, I like your name. The sentient thing is really interesting. So, it's not sentient, by the way. It doesn't even know what it wrote. It is a calculator. GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. It's generating words with a probability engine, a mathematical probability engine. Pre-trained means it's been pre-trained on all of the internet. So basically it knows as much of the public internet. Well, it's beyond what you could even imagine. It knows a lot of shit. And then Transformer is the technology that it's all built on. GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Google invented the Transformer in 2017, and all of the stuff that we're playing with today is essentially using the same basic shit. It is not sentient. It is a calculator. So when you type your prompt, what it actually does is it creates a mathematical probability that somewhere in 1,000-dimensional vector space, all of the internet. No, I didn't say all of the internet. I said as much of the public internet as OpenAI could get their hands on, Pate. I try to be responsible with that. If I wasn't clear, that's what I mean. So when you type your prompt, it creates a mathematical probability that somewhere in this 1,000-dimensional latent space is a point in space that has the highest probability of being the right thing. And it pulls back a number, a string of numbers. And then that string of numbers is related to a word, and then it types that word in your browser. And then it does that over and over and over again. That's how these things actually work. So when it writes a bunch of shit, as a human, we're looking at kind of the reflection of people put a bunch of stuff on the internet, and so humans are sort of answering our question, but it's the tool that does it is a calculator. So it's got no awareness of what it wrote. But we as humans assign it sentience because it seems awful human-like. Like when you interact with ChatGPT, it's much closer to interacting with like a remote intern than it is interacting with Google search. It's like you're having a conversation because in a sense you are. But the entity that is generating that conversation has literally zero awareness of what it wrote. Future versions will. ChatGPT 5. So one of the things we're going to see in 2024... So what I just described of this thing's just a calculator, it doesn't know what it wrote, that's one of the reasons it does what's called hallucinating, or mansplaining as a service, I like to call it, where it will confidently answer you, even if it's wrong, right? Like every good man in your life. We're awesome. Within 2024, these systems are going to start reasoning. where they are going to be aware of what they say. And they're going to be able to look at what they say and said, is what I just said wrong? And if it is, let me go fix that before I say it. So GPT-5 will likely be in that neighborhood. I don't know about Gemini Ultra just yet, but Zuckerberg, fine young Mark Zuckerberg, basically just declared they're rolling together all of their AI research groups within Meta with the single goal of achieving AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, which is also the goal of OpenAI. And Meta is aiming 350,000 H100 GPUs at the problem. And they're going to open source it. So sometime, probably in the next 18 months, but likely some pieces of it in 2024, these tools are going to get much better. Any word on timing of GPT-5? Not that I know of. I mean, Sam Altman kind of hinted that, that he knows what's in it, right? It's going to be multimodal. It's going to reason, and it's going to have agents, right? It's going to be able to take actions on your behalf. And if you look at GPTs, so they gave us these things called GPTs where we can customize our own GPT-4 applications, where we can train it on our own data, we can connect it to APIs. That's the beginning of an agent infrastructure. Now, I don't know if that's going to ultimately be how they work. They're probably not. But I kind of feel like all of these companies right now, well, it's certainly OpenAI, is letting us get used to. Actually, this goes back to the problem. How do I not feel guilty about using these tools? OpenAI right now is giving us tools powerful enough so that we can see what's coming, to get used to it, so that it's not weird. So that we don't feel guilty using a tool. Imagine sitting with 1 million buckets, each a different subject, filled with random words. Yeah. Oh, that's a good metaphor, Joker. Yeah, the way these things work, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's this box is full of these 1 million buckets, and when you have a prompt, that prompt creates a probability and says bucket 383,422 is the one that's most likely to be the right one. Bang. Except instead of millions of buckets, it's actually trillions. It's incomprehensibly complex mathematical space, but we don't have to deal with that. Makes a coherent sentence in less than a second. It makes a coherent paragraph in less than a second sometimes. Very, very quick. So, yeah, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Crazy. So I hope that answers your problem. Is that we actually kind of have to reframe the conversation, right? Because it's not, the higher ed has said, if someone's using ChatGPT, then they're cheating. No. There's another tool that gives students and teachers and administrators access to knowledge in a thing called a large language model. And yes, I'm talking about higher education administrators like they're children, because that's how they're acting right now. But if you think about this, we have a thing called a large language model that powers ChatGPT and Bard and Pi and Claude and all these amazing tools that everyone's playing with. The thing sitting underneath them is called a large language model. You know what else is a large language model? Human beings. Someone says shit into your ears like a prompt. It goes into your crazy straw of a brain, and some sort of probability engine says, here's the words that should come out in a certain order. That's what these tools are. That's exactly what they are. And so here we have a thing that is the most profound access to knowledge in human history to date, and the institution in charge of giving us access to knowledge as human beings is like, yeah, but we'll never use those. We've got detectors to detect if someone used that shit. So the narrative right now is AI is evil, and if you use it, you're a bad person. And just, sorry, I don't know why I'm so snotty. Go back in history and look at every single technological advance in human history. The reaction is always the same. The new technology is evil. It's going to destroy us all. And anyone who uses it should feel guilty or should be killed. If you go to the printing press, for example, or if you go to the steam engine and tractors, or if you go to the calculator, university professors protested, picketed against the use of calculators because it would ruin, no one would do math anymore. No one would understand how math worked. Well, okay, it didn't happen. Every technology, every single technology. So it's just same shit. So, yeah. My computer science instructor said we can use it as long as we're transparent with use. Share ChatGPT chat logs. Perfect. Great. Like that's it. Bring it into the classroom. Hey, I used ChatGPT and it wrote this paper. And when I first read it, I thought, oh, that's really good. And then when I started editing it, I realized, oh, it was repetitive and it was generic and it was boring. So I went in and I had to fix it. Awesome. Do you know what that's called? Critical fucking thinking. We need more of that. We need more critical thinking. Critical thinking, in my opinion, is going to be the skill of value as we move forward. Because tactical execution, the writing and the coding and the making of images and the making of songs and the making of this and the making of that at the service of some project, all of that shit's going to get automated. And then what becomes the skill is, well, what do we want these tools to do? How do we want to assemble those outputs in a way that serves a business goal or serves an artistic goal or makes me happy or is good enough that I want to share it with the world? Whatever the goal is, that's still our value. That part, I don't think, ever goes away. We get to choose how to use the tools. We get to choose when to say, it's done. Here's my piece. Here's my computer program. Here's my image. Here's my song. You know? All right, this has been a weekend of fucking soapbox. I gotta get a soapbox. I really do. All right, so listen. There's 156 people in here. I'm gonna make a little. If you're curious about AI, or if you're really curious about AI, if you're like the one or two people in your life that are like, I'm pretty sure this is a big fucking deal, and I don't understand why everyone isn't doing this. If that's you, you should come hang out with us. Who's us? What's us? Is this? Oh my goodness! Is this a cult? No, but we have a thing called the AI Salon. Or as I like to call it, the AI Salon, that is not for getting your hair done, clearly, but is for exchanging ideas and hanging out with cool people and sharing what we're learning and learning together and building together and just being swell to each other. Because this shit is scary, right? This stuff is fairly existential. Like if you're a copywriter, if you've been a copywriter for 30 years, and you sit in front of a tool that can do some version of what you do in 3 seconds that you know would have taken you 2 hours, regardless of if it's as good as you or not, there's something sort of deep at the core of who we are that you look at these tools and you're like, oh, fuck. Kevin McAllister moment, right? It can do that. And when you get into this stuff, it's a rolling series of those moments where you're like, okay, I understand what it is now. And then it'll do something else. And you're like, oh my God, it can do that too? And then you see it do another thing. You're like, it can do that too? And then someone will come in who knows nothing about AI, but she knows something about, I don't know, the way she does what she does. Corey Sandler knows about pottery glazes. She's a potter. She's an artist. And the way she thought about putting together a tool for beginning potters to create glaze recipes like shook me up. And she's like, yeah, it just does it. It can do it. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't even think of that. And then it can make a picture of what that glaze would look like on the pottery. And it knows that shit. How does it know that shit? But it does. So, if you've had one of those moments or a series of those moments and you're like, I don't even know how to process this, welcome to the club. None of us know how to process this. We're figuring it out in real time. And so that's what this group is. So if you go there, it's going to take you to a link tree. That looks like this. Wait, come on. Okay. The first link is to the AI Salon Community. This community does not cost anything. This is just a bunch of people hanging out. So it's hosted on a Mighty Networks server. Mighty Networks is just a community hosting platform. There's also 2 links to a thing called GPT for Good, which was a project that Ann Murphy and I did 3 weeks ago now, where we, in 24 hours, taught a bunch of people how to make GPTs. And this community built 150 GPTs for nonprofits in 24 hours. So if you go to that second link, that's the directory of all the GPTs. And at the bottom of that list of all those GPTs is the instructions for how to build them, what we used in that in those sessions. And the third link is those sessions on YouTube. And then there's also a merch store, which if you buy any of our swag, it actually supports the community, and that's how we can do it for free. Okay. So if you go here and you're like, yeah, that kind of sounds interesting. The first place I want you to go, there's a salon info section. Go to Welcome to the AI Salon. And you'll see this cool groovy image where it's like a group of people setting out on an adventure. And that's exactly what this is. We're choosing to be on this AI adventure. So rather than just sit on the beach and let this tsunami, smack us over, we're choosing to like hop on surfboards and just sort of paddle out in the ocean and see what the hell's going on. And we're choosing to do it together. And it's, I got to tell you, it's a hell of a lot better to do it with other people than to do it alone. And then we also talk about our values, like the kind of people that are in here. So if these values resonate with you, these are going to be your people. Curiosity is one of the values. Generosity. People are sharing what they're learning. Here's my prompt. Here's how I did it. Here's how I thought about it. Exploration. People are willing to go, oh, okay. There's a completely new version of ChatGPT. Rather than going, oh fuck, I just they're like, okay, let's go figure out what's in it. Like it's a very adventurous group. Collaboration. It's a collaborative group. Hey, let's go put on a show. You want to go do something? Let's go build something. It's inclusive. People are coming from all walks of life, all experience backgrounds, all sorts of different skill sets. And then empathy is the last one. We want people in here that recognize that people are scared. You might be scared. I get scared a lot. I mean, I've got an automated video storytelling platform that's 11 and a half years old. And we're moving into an era where everything's going to be automated. The thing that made a big part of my company's software valuable is going to be a total commodity where everyone's going to go like, yeah, everything's automated now. What's the big deal with yours? That's some pretty existential shit. And so it's not all sunshine and roses, right? So doing that with other people is super important. And then, so if you like what you see there, then go into the community section. And the first little section here is called Introduce Yourself. So embrace that value of generosity. And even though it's scarier than fuck to introduce yourself to people, especially on the internet, use your real name when you sign up and introduce yourself. Here's who I am. Here's what I do. Here's where I am on this journey. Even if it's like, I'm just starting, or I've been doing this for 30 years, but this generative AI stuff's completely different. I'm all over the place. I don't even know where to start. Perfect. And anything in between. And then check out the water cooler where people are having discussions about what's going on. There's a news channel. The show and tell channel becomes, during these lives, becomes like a really cool jam session where people, generic soap. That's my soapbox, by the way. This was a metaphor I talked about last night. That the current tools that we use with computers are like being in a rickety wooden rowboat in the ocean, and we're like, and then this is AI. Like AI is like a Miami jet boat fucking flying through the ocean. Like it's way off in the distance. So like we don't have to worry about that. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom! And you're like, what was that? And then your little rowboat's rocking. You're like, oh my god, what is the? Wait, what? That's AI? Oh shit! So go play and show and tell. And just get inspired by people in here. They're just doing cool stuff. They're sharing songs. They're sharing GPTs they built. That's that cool image that Corey did. I noticed a cool thing that the back mags have 5 spokes and the front mags have 6 spokes. Because, these things are weird right now. Danielle's AI Learning Lab tornado. Ripping through the workforce and the economy. Ooh, that's cool. Corey Sandler, made with Iconics. Oh, that's super cool. Wow, beautiful. Very cool. So go look at that stuff. Apple's new goggles. Embrace the janky. Know that these tools right now are super fucking janky. And then here's the thing. So you're like, if you've listened to me up to this point, if you're like, all right, Kyle, I'll join your stupid fucking little party. In the community section, go to AI tools and resources. And this list is absolutely worth the risk of you introducing yourself to strangers. Because that's the only real cost of the community. And I know it's fucking scary because we're human, right? Nobody wants to look like a dum-dum. I don't want to admit that I'm clueless. Here's the secret. Everybody's fucking clueless right now. Nobody knows what they're doing with this generative AI stuff. 0 people. 0. 0. 0. You know who can keep up with all the changes? No one. Even people that write newsletters are like, I can't deal with this anymore. I had a newsletter for a while. It was completely fucking overwhelming. This list will tell you, it's just a list of recommended tools to start learning on. The first one is ChatGPT. It's still the best. As soon as it's not the best, I will swap this out with whatever comes next. And ChatGPT 4, a question I get a lot is, well, what's the difference between 3.5 and 4? And is it worth the $20 a month? The difference is gargantuan. And yes, it's worth the $20 a month. This is the best $20 a month for software, probably in software history, in my opinion. And I know Pate's going to be like, well, what about Bard? Bard's free. No one's touching ChatGPT 4 right now. It's connected to the internet. It can do advanced data analysis with this thing called Code Interpreter. It can see images. It can make images. It can talk to you. It can hear you. You can give it a personality with this thing called Custom Instructions. And then last November, they released Custom GPTs, where you can make your own personalized, customized version of ChatGPT that does a specific task. or it does it's like an application. So it could teach someone about your nonprofit, or it could make you cool pictures of muscle cars and design a poster for you to print out and hang up in your room. I made that one. Or it could analyze data for you, help you start a business, design flower bouquets. Corey's thing, Iconics, helps you design glasses. Talk about the Minnesota Firefighters Museum. TK made that one. She actually made a bunch of them for that museum, for that community, the Minnesota Firefighters Association. And good things are happening for her because of that, because she's making a difference in the world with these things. So that's just ChatGPT. Like all of this stuff, learning how to use the stuff in this list, you could take the next 30 days and just messing around with it, like not run out of things to do. You could take the next 3 years and not run out of things to do and not hit the bottom of the well. It's amazing. So that's that. And then someone was asking, what are the best free ones out there? They're all different. And what I would encourage you to do is get curious about this stuff and don't think about it don't make it like homework. Like I have to learn AI. Make it more like I get to play with AI. Oh, AI is this cool thing. Let me start with ChatGPT and see what that is. And now let me go play with Claude. Well, what's Claude? Well, Claude is a bunch of ex-OpenAI people that didn't like how OpenAI was doing AI safety. And so they came up with a completely different model. So they have this competitor called Claude, which is very much like ChatGPT. It's in the neighborhood of ChatGPT 3.5. It's really good. And they use a different model, and that's kind of cool. And then there's Google Bard. And it's kind of like ChatGPT now in terms of its quality. It was really bad for a long, long time, and then it got better. And then when they release Gemini Ultra, which is their new fancy thing, it's going to get really good. And then there's Perplexity, which is good at research and citations. And then there's Microsoft Copilot, which is like free ChatGPT 4, with the exceptions I talked about before. It's got weird safety guardrails. So, and then there's Pi, there's Grok, there's Llama. Llama 2 is a whole world. Sounds like Meta's going to open source Llama 3. So it sounds like Meta wants to open source artificial general intelligence, which is pretty insane. Then you've got image generation tools. There's a whole pile of those you can play with. And you should learn which ones are good at what. Like Midjourney is fucking beautiful. Like if you want high quality art, use Midjourney. If you're in a corporation, don't use Midjourney because it's been trained on all sorts of copywritten art and there's all sorts of lawsuits coming. If you're in a corporation, use Adobe Firefly. Well, how do you learn that? You just go get curious. Get curious about these tools. Start playing with them. Figure out which ones are good, which ones are bad, where the boundaries are. And then check back every month or two, because every time I fucking check into one of these tools, they've changed the interface and it's gotten radically better. And I'm like, oh God, that thing I used to hate because it sucked, it doesn't suck anymore. Anyway, that's all there. All of that's there for free. Yours for the cost of $0. No, yours for the cost of being generous and introducing yourself and sharing what you're learning. Look, some people introduced themselves. Thank you. Robert Weisberg. Awesome. Posted 6 minutes ago. Be like Robert. Emilio's wife. Oh, she tried to get me on top of a soapbox. So this is the state of the art right now. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. There you go. But I mean, here's the thing. If you're not a fan of AI and you haven't tried it, try it. Like, be not a fan of AI knowing what it does, knowing how it does it, knowing what it's good at, knowing what it's not good at. And listen, if you want to sit on the sidelines, that's fine. Here's my philosophy on. Let me hop back on the soapbox here for a second. My philosophy on debates about whether AI is good or bad or evil or this or going to destroy humanity or save humanity, all of those discussions are independent of the fact that it's coming. Or no, are independent of the fact that it's here and getting better dramatically fast. So if you sit on the sidelines having all these conversations about if it's good or not, it's still accelerating. So back to that image. Where was that image? I'm show and tell here. These are funny. Back to this image. There's a lot of discussions right now from the people in the rowboats talking about, is it a good thing or a bad thing that these jet boats exist? And we're all in the ocean, and we all have to get to Miami, right? And there's a storm coming. And for the people that stopped rowing, and they're like, well, I mean, you could put a motor, but if you put a motor on this thing, then it's going to require gasoline, and then we're going to have to come up with some sort of fuel source. And I don't want to, render you down and use the oil from your blubber to run the thing. So we're probably going to have to go on land. And so why don't we talk about the value of petrochemicals for internal combustion engines that haven't been invented yet? That's what those conversations are like. Like, okay, have those conversations and find a friend with a jet boat and get a ride in it and see what it's like. You'd be like, holy shit, that was not like what I've ever experienced. Yeah, exactly. If you only know the acceleration of one person pulling oars through the water, and then you're confronted with 3,000 horsepower jet turbine engines on a hydrodynamically efficient hull, you're not prepared for what that experience is. And you can't judge it from the outside. Like, no one who's ridden in one of those jet boats can in any way describe to you what it's like to ride in that while you're in your rowboat. Let me look at the comments. Looks like we got some people fired up in here, which is good. What do you mean when you say open source? Can you add anything? Okay, yeah, Kim. So good question. So right now, OpenAI and Bard and Claude and Perplexity, a lot of these companies that are building what are called frontier models, the base knowledge model that these apps call on, what are called the weights, or basically the source code of how this thing does what it does. Those are proprietary, and we get to use the tool, but we use it as a black box. We don't know what's in it. Meta, over the summer, released Llama 1 and then Llama 2 to the open source community. And for Llama 2, they made it commercially accessible. So what they did was they took that box, that large language model, and they said, here it is, and here are the weights. Basically, here are the keys to the kingdom. So one of the reasons Sam Altman says he doesn't want to do that is because if you want to do really bad things with it, and you open source it, people can do really bad things with it. So they're trying to put in safety guardrails and what they're calling super alignment, so that the imperatives of these powerful AI tools align with the imperatives of human beings. Because if those are out of alignment, at some point the AI tools could attack humans, right? So there's a good reason why to think like that. The open source community says, fuck that, we're adults, let us play with the toys. And Meta said, here you go, you can play with the toys. So, and the value of open source is it allows the developer community to just go crazy and do all sorts of things and mix and match things. And so the advancements that are happening in the open source community, they're making these large language models smaller and more efficient and faster and able to do different things. And they're able to combine things much more quickly than these big commercial entities that have to test things and, do all the stuff that big companies do. So it's really good for innovation. Is it riskier for humanity? Yeah, it is. But, you've also got, you got the black hat hackers and the white hat hackers, right? So they've all got access to the same tools now. What open source also does is it doesn't ensure it, but it makes it a higher likelihood that you won't have 2 or 3 companies that control all of the AI. Without open source, all of these like right now I've got 9 different large language model companies on my large language model list. Those will likely consolidate down into 3 companies. Which ones we don't know. Will it be Meta? Will it be Google? Will it be Apple? Will it be Microsoft? It doesn't matter in the end. Like, they will consolidate, right? That's how capitalism works. And so there's a risk if you've got 3 companies that control all of the AI, and then the government says, well, we're going to regulate those 3 companies, then you basically lose your choice for how these tools can be used. And so the open source community says, yeah, give us the tools. We want to make sure that these things propagate and live, outside of that. So anyway, hope that helps. Hope that helps. Dear. All right, let's see. Kyle, my position has changed. It sounds like there's someone in here who's saying AI is bad. Joker, my position has changed. AI is bad because this guy said so. Changed my mind. My question to RJ would be, have you used it? A lot of the people that I know that have the strongest opinions about AI have not used it. And again, what I don't really have judgment. Like, if you have used it, if you've used it a lot, and your contention is it's evil, great. I'm down with that. Like, you can have your own. Everyone can have their own opinions. The thing that I think is irresponsible for all of us to do is sit on the sidelines and cast stones at this thing without understanding how they actually work, what they actually are, what they're actually good at, what they're actually not good at, what stage of the industry we're in, how fast they're actually moving, what the implications for the workforce are, what the implications for society are. Like, there's a lot of shit for us to get our heads around and our hands around being in the conversation. So if you're just sitting on the sidelines casting stones at this, I just think it's not going to serve you. It's not going to serve any other people. It's like the people in the rowboats arguing about, how awesome the rowboats are and how evil the jet boats are. But the jet boats are still here. Like, the jet boats are here. The jet boats are not going away. I'm not making any assertion of good or bad. I'm just saying the jet boats are here and they're getting faster and better. What are we going to do about it? It's my contention. We should get fucking curious, and we should get curious fast. I don't think the anti-AI guy even knows how to use TikTok because he won't reply to us. Hey, Marge, listen. How do you? So people ask me something here on a TikTok. How do I respond to these people? Wait, is this thing even on? How do you turn this thing on? You have so much patience. I have none, but I'm trying. What I'm trying to do, Block Tom, is just have empathy. I get that people are scared. I get that people are angry. If RJ's angry about this stuff because it's, you know, he fears it's going to come in and fucking decimate yet another series of professions, that's fucking terrifying. And it ain't going away. It's like a both and. Yeah, it's scary. Yeah, you could be pissed off. And it's not going away. So what are we going to do about it? I'm voicing the scary side. Yeah, exactly, RJ. It is scary. I'm not saying it's not scary. I was saying that about my business. I went through about a 3-month period, RJ. I've got an 11-and-a-half-year-old business. And a big part of our value proposition, the value of it's going to drop to 0 in 2024. And I could see that at the beginning of 2023. And I'm like, what do I do here? Do I just flush it down the fucking toilet? Or do I just keep doing what we're doing and just watch the demand for that particular value proposition just drop and drop and drop and drop and try to maintain what it was? It took me 10 months, most of 2023, to get my head around AI to the point that I could integrate it into my business in a way that I didn't flush the company down the toilet. That's fucking terrifying. And yet I came here every night to talk about get curious, use it, play with it, understand what it is. Do you think people in my company wanted the CEO of the company out on TikTok talking about this crazy AI shit? I had one of my employees, I showed them, I made a video of an avatar. I made a picture of a woman in Midjourney that looked photorealistic. Actually, my friend Leah Faston, who I started the AI salon with, she made this image of this woman that looked photorealistic. I took it into DID and had her make a Storyvine video. So I kind of used our technology to have this avatar woman make a Storyvine video. I did that back in January or February. I had someone in the company almost quit because of that. They're like, I don't think I can be part of a company that doesn't value human beings. I'm like, if anything, I'm overly empathetic. I value human beings to a fucking fault. And these tools are here. It's my contention that it's better to understand them than not. But I was confronted with, if you don't mind the line of valuing humans, you're going to risk your company. So that happened. That shut me down for 4 or 5 months. I didn't touch that shit. Voice synthesis and avatars and all that sort of stuff. And then I started to get my head around, okay, what's the core of Storyvine? Oh, it's authentic storytelling. Okay. And then how can I use these tools in a way that supports authentic storytelling rather than violates it, than confronts it? And I've gotten to a place 10 months later where I can at least have that conversation. I can at least show some of these tools in a context that doesn't freak people the fuck out. So yeah, this shit's scary. And it's not going anywhere. It's here. 2024, the 2024 election is going to be fucking insane. Fake videos and fake stories and we won't be able to tell reality from not. People are going to not do things but be accused of things because there's video evidence. People are going to do things but deny that they did them and claim that it was AI. Like, it's just going to be crazy. And it's not going away. So what do we do about it? Get fucking educated. Get curious. Play. It's the only thing I know how to do. Well, you're just one person. You can't do anything. Exactly. But you know what? There's now more than 800 people in the AI salon that are all trying to figure it out. And 3 weeks ago, a few of us got together and said, hey, let's teach as many people as we can in 24 hours to make GPTs for nonprofits. Let's make some GPTs for good. So if we ever so slightly bend the trajectory toward the good, toward the light, we're so early in the industry that that will have a disproportionately positive effect 3 years from now. Why? Because we don't know who's going to be affected by that. What I can tell you was there were a bunch of people that played, that made GPTs on that Saturday that have never made a piece of software before. They're not coders. They're just human beings living their life. And they're like, oh, I do something for good for a nonprofit? Okay, I'll go try it out. Oh, this is really cool. Maybe I should make 2. Oh, why don't I just keep making them? We had people that made 20, 15, 10. They hung out for 24 hours. They came to all the sessions. It was crazy. Was there anything evil in that? No, it was like really Shangri-La-y kind of hyper optimistic. We can do good in the world. Now, are those GPTs ultimately going to survive and make massive impact? I don't know. It doesn't matter. There are now people that are part of this community that are using AI as a self-expressive tool. And they're discovering things about themselves and their capabilities and their vision and how they and the impact that they can have that they never thought was possible. Like, it's happening daily. I do these things every fucking night, 2 to 3 hours a night. I'm not always this soapboxy. Usually I'm making stupid little jokes. No, well, not special. Using the AI. Is that you using the AI, or who else could it be? Oh, I know, Satan. I'm usually just doing fucking dumb idiot shit and showing how cool the tools are. But these are really important conversations. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be angry. What I don't think is okay, I don't know if it's not okay. What I think is going to hurt people is sitting on the sidelines. And that makes me sad. That's why I do this. I don't want people to sit on the sidelines. Why take the risk? Why take what risk? What's the risk? What's the risk that you think we're taking by playing with AI? I mean, if your understanding is just that, like, the AI is going to kill us, there are some scenarios where, yes, if the AI develops in a certain way and if it gets under the control of single entities, it can do really bad things. Jobs. What about them? It has turned out so far that while jobs are being eliminated, a lot of jobs are just changing. There are also going to be a lot of jobs created that we can't even imagine what they are right now. This is going to be a net increase in productivity. In prosperity. And what's a very real possibility, RJ, is that what is likely going to happen is there's going to be a lot of displacement. The next 2 to 3 years are going to suck, quite frankly. They're going to suck for everyone. Because a lot's going to change. And some jobs will be eliminated. And some jobs will be eliminated that when they're eliminated are going to free people up to do stuff that they actually like. There are a lot of jobs in our society right now that are just being the cogs in the wheel of these ultra complicated machines that have been built over the past couple of centuries. And if AI can take over that low-level, repetitive, mind-numbing, soul-crushing work and free people up to do things they like that also contributes to society and contributes to things, there's a possibility that things get better. I think there's going to be a 2 to 3 year period where it's going to be an absolute shit show. We might need something like universal basic income, but I think on the other side of that, there's way more jobs. I mean, look at the history of every technology. Look at the history of the steam engine. Just go look at that. When they invented the tractor, all the farmers said, "What are we going to do? You're taking our jobs. It's our job to feed horses and shovel shit. These machines are going to ruin my job." Well, a lot of those people moved to what became cities and did completely different kinds of jobs that were not even imaginable in that context, in the context that they were thinking inside. And that's the rowboats in this picture. So yeah, jobs are going to be impacted. Jobs are going to be affected. Jobs are going to completely transform. And who will be slightly insulated from the impact are people who are AI literate. If you're not AI literate, it's going to be worse. So, anyway. All right. Pi is absolutely changing my life. Pi is amazing. If you haven't used Pi, so I don't know if you're still in here, RJ. This is a crowd that is pro. Just try this shit out. If you haven't tried Pi, so it's an app that you download on your phone. What is Congress's role, Kyle? Right now, fucking nothing. Congress, are you fucking kidding me? Congress can't change the name of a street right now. Congress is absolutely fucking useless. The only thing that is having any impact at all right now is Biden did an executive order. We've at least got an official position from the United States. Our government at this point is completely fucking useless. What they're doing that's smart is they're bringing in smart people. They'll likely create the equivalent of like the nuclear regulatory body. They'll likely do something like that with AI. They'll make sure that we're still competitive. They'll make sure that anyone that's doing like truly powerful AGI and up-level shit is regulated, if not licensed. But they're fucking clueless right now. Anyway, if you haven't played with Pi, go play with this. Download the Pi app. P-I. Yeah, Congress doesn't know what Wi-Fi is. Exactly. Have you watched a congressional hearing where you listen to these congressmen talk about how Wi-Fi works? And you're like, seriously, Grandpa? Like, really? And we expect them to legislate AI? Do you think they're using it? I promise you they're not. But if you haven't used Pi, I'm curious how Congress would handle regulating artificial intelligence right now.
Well, Congress seems to be taking a different approach than the European Union, EU, in terms of AI regulation. Brussels recently reached a deal on the world's most ambitious law to regulate AI, but the US Congress hasn't yet.
So if you want to have an interesting, I'll tell you what, here's an interesting thing to do. Get something like Pi or ChatGPT that you can also talk to, the app on mobile. Have a conversation with one of these large language models. I would do it with Pi because it's connected to the internet. Oh, actually, so is ChatGPT now if you have ChatGPT 4. But do Pi because it's designed to be conversational AI. Have a conversation with Pi about all of your fears about AI. One of the things that I've discovered with these large language models is that they're actually really good at having nuanced conversations about very emotionally charged topics. You know how in the country right now there are some topics that you literally can't say the word because you know you're going to piss off someone in the room? When you're having a conversation with Pi, you can actually say those words and get back a reasonable answer and a thoughtful answer. So have a conversation with Pi about what are going to be the short and long-term impacts of AI on jobs. How will they transform? What are the kinds of jobs that might appear in 5 years that we can't even imagine right now? It will come up with them and they'll be pretty fucking good. You'll be blown away. If you haven't done it yet, you should try it. Like just take a little ride in the jet boat. What if it eliminates redundant work, busy work, and allows us to be more creative and productive? That exactly, Source Camp. This is the thing that I keep stumbling upon, that I feel like it's easy to say, what if the AI ruins everything? It's actually harder to say, what if the AI makes things better? Because I feel like as at least as a country here in America, we've perfected the art of how fucking awful everything is. All we talk about is how broken it is. Well, one of the things that AI looks like it's going to do is automate a lot of the awfulness in our infrastructure, in our daily interactions. That seems to me to be a really good thing, because if people didn't have to put up with the 10 or 15 hours a week of being on hold with an insurance company and fighting to get something paid for and trying to deal with their 401k allotment here and trying to get answers to why their refrigerator can't make ice anymore. Do you know how fucking enraged we are 24/7 because of stupid shit that computers should fix but don't? I mean, I don't know about you, but like my day is just filled with, are you fucking kidding me? Really? I'm going to sit on hold for 40 minutes. You're going to pick up the phone, be clueless, and when you go to transfer me, you're going to disconnect me? Really? This is still what we're doing? What if that were fixed? Oh, well, that was easier. What if I had an agent that could read my entire healthcare policy, could figure out all the loopholes that the insurance company doesn't want me to find, or not even loopholes, all the ways to actually get paid, and it just navigated that for me. So I just say, here's my doctor, here was the condition I was diagnosed with, here's the thing, here's the letter where United Healthcare told me to go fuck myself, and please go deal with that. And what if our agent just went off and fucking dealt with that? It would make me happy. It would make me momentarily blissful. Oh shit. The bot actually fixed something. Fucking hallelujah. Let me break out the Blantons and fire up a doobie. Show some love for Kyle and follow if you haven't already, please. Thank you, please, and thank you. Thank you, Danielle. I'm all fucking, I'm red. I mean, what if shit like that got better? What if the 5 hours a week where you want to throw something through a window, you actually just look out the window. That's an improvement in quality of life. Now, if you look out that window unemployed because AI just ate your job because you sat on the sidelines and didn't get AI literate and couldn't adapt fast enough, well, that fucking sucks. And I think it will eventually come around, but I think it's going to be painful for people who sit on the sidelines when this stuff's going to get... There's going to be a lot of demand for people that know how to do this in any way. We used to joke in the mid-90s with HTML and the web about if you could spell HTML, you could get a job. Like in 97, 98, and 99, it was fucking stupid. The demand for anyone that could literally log into a computer and look at HTML code and just understand what it was, they were asking for $150,000 a year out of college and getting it. And then they were job hopping, like we had people we wanted to hire that were like 2 years out of college asking for $300,000 a year. RJ, you are an important voice. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's coming whether we want it or not. And the one thing I've got some perspective on, because I started one of the first digital agencies in the mid-90s, is that it's incredibly rare as a human being to have the opportunity to be there at the beginning. If you're on this channel, RJ, as pissed off as you are, as scared as you are of this stuff, the fact that you're on the call and still having the conversation means you're in the conversation. It is incredibly rare as a human being. Like we live these really short time span windows in longer narrative, historical narrative arcs, right? These technologies that change the course of human history, they don't happen that often. The 20th century had a lot of them. In my life, I've experienced 3 of them. One I just missed, which was the personal computer. One was the World Wide Web. I mean, you could argue the internet and things like that, but the World Wide Web was the thing that made the internet accessible to everyone. And I didn't think I would see one of these again in my lifetime. And AI is it. And that's why I do this. That's why I started the AI Salon. That's why I do these things nightly. Because here's a fun thing. So I don't know, RJ or anyone here. So you know how for a lot of 2023, people would show AI images and the hands would all look like this? And everyone made fun of it. Look at the stupid hands. It can't even make hands. And then it was, well, it can't spell. And then it can start to spell, and it still can't quite spell, but it's better. But like, if you look at AI images right now, most of the time, the hands are kind of like hands. Sometimes the fingers are a little long or a little short, but they look like hands now. And by May, we'll never see another gnarled hand unless we ask for it or we use an old model. And so anyone that was playing with this stuff when the hands were like this and saw the imperfections is going to have a completely different appreciation for the evolution of these tools. Like we are in such a rare window that we get to even be a part of this in any way. So why I've got so many people, they've nicknamed themselves the irregulars, that show up here regularly Better to be irregular than irrelevant is the meme that they came up with. That I think is fucking awesome. Why they keep coming back is once you take a ride on the jet boat, you're like, oh fuck, like I don't know what any of these controls do. This feels dangerous. Like, are we allowed to go this fast? The person this conversation tonight started with someone saying, what do I say to someone who says they feel guilty about using these tools? Well, why they feel guilty about using the tools is they know that everyone else is out in rowboats and they're fucking, the trip to Miami is not 3 days. It's like 37 minutes. So yeah, there's probably some guilt. I can't code, but with ChatGPT, okay, so Joker, I can't code, but with ChatGPT, I was able to build, train, and deploy an AI model that recognizes 0 to 9 somethings. I think he did this in the healthcare space. Recognizes like blood diseases or something like that, right, Joker? We need it more for life insurance. We do. Kyle, is it iced coffee? Coffee you're drinking? Yes, it is. It is iced coffee. Why are you drinking iced coffee at night? It's an ADD thing. Caffeine actually calms me and focuses me rather than... Although you wouldn't know it tonight. I'm pretty fired up tonight. I was fired up last night. There's something in the fucking air. I'm telling you, something's going on right now. RJ, the fact that you're still here in this conversation, something is going on right now. There's a shift happening. Maybe that's I've had a weirdness for the past month and a half, 2 months. Like shortly after the latest version of ChatGPT came out, and then I saw the Google Gemini Ultra demo. Like I've got this weird unsettled feeling. And I can't place my hand on it. I'm still excited about this stuff. I'm still all in. But I got this weird unsettled feeling, and it's just like it goes back to that thing I keep saying like the past 2 weeks. 2023 is the last normal year. I feel like 2024 is going to get weird. And it's going to get weird because of, like the jet boats, like we're going to go from like jet boats to like, I don't know, UFOs. It's like, it's going to get weird. It's like, what do we do with that? What do we like? What's our job? What's our role as this community? Oh, the digits 0 to 9. No, I mean an actual model, not a GPT. Oh, that's super cool. That's really funny. That's funny, Joker. Yeah, there's something, but there's a shift going on that is there's just more people are more curious about it. I think the floodgates are starting to open. Source Camp. My friend had a brilliant quote the other day. Oh, good. What was it? How about asking it to litigate why we shouldn't? Technology is getting us closer to the 22nd century than the calendar. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great quote, right? My version of that is we're living in a post-sci-fi world. Like I feel like almost all of the sci-fi movies where some version of AI was represented, like we can kind of do some version of almost all of it now. And the stuff it can't do, it's coming like quickly. It's like, fuck. Did you see the new Disney floor for the holodeck? Did you see this? Disney floor. Is this it? The Holo tile. Is this it? Where's the video? You got the video of it? God damn it. Go to YouTube. Google and Bing are useless. Web search is dead. Web search is dead. It sucks so bad it's completely unusable. Yeah, web search is dead. Uh-huh. Up with people.
You can make money with ChatGPT.
Disney floor. Can we just see one without someone making a stupid video on top of it? Please?
We call it the Holo tile floor, and it's a very special piece of technology, and I'm going to do a little demonstration of it. So, I can walk on this omnidirectional floor in any direction I want. It will automatically do whatever it needs to have me stay on the floor. And what's amazing about this is multiple people can be on it and all walking independently. They can walk in virtual reality.
The fucking holodeck. like if you look at the way they shoot The Mandalorian right now, all of the sets for The Mandalorian are made in Unreal Engine. They're in a surround visual environment like that. And now you got a floor where like the big joke of all the virtual reality shit is you see grandma like try to jump off the plank and she jumps into the TV or whatever. Like, so people can now actually walk with that. Like, it's like we're all of the raw materials for science fiction becoming reality are literally like we're getting to play with the piece parts right now. And they're all janky pieces of shit that don't connect. But in the next 3 years, they're going to all connect. And like we're going to start curing diseases, making scientific breakthroughs at a fucking breakneck pace, completely redefine work, completely redefine. It's fucking nuts. So anyway, I'm not understanding what I'm seeing, and this is my third time to see it. So I'm assuming that it's got a. I don't know if these things are digital or if everyone sort of if it's like a concave thing and you sort of gravity sort of pulls you back to the middle. But have you seen those conveyor belts that have spinning motors and wheels in them where the packages are just coming and then dynamically, like based on their barcode, they get routed to different conveyor belts? And it's just like this magical, like they're just on a conveyor belt and they just zip over to some other conveyor belt. It's kind of like that where these things are like rolling things under your feet, but no matter what direction you're walking like you're walking, but you're staying physically in the same place. So these things are just rolling underneath your feet. So, I don't know. It's just, but it's like, and I don't, like, they could be janky pieces of shit that don't really work. But, it's Disney Imagineering, so generally they won't show stuff unless it actually fucking works. But that's going to be I guarantee you that's in Disney rides in the next 2 years. And when Disney Imagineering can do hyper-personalized experiences, can you imagine? So right now, think about just the entertainment possibility here. Disney's going to figure this out. They're masters of storytelling, they're masters of technology, and they're masters of IP, right? So they're going to figure this shit out. So imagine going to what's the equivalent of a theme park, but instead of you having to go to Paramount Pictures one day and Epcot Center one day and Magic Kingdom one day, because they've got physical infrastructure, right? To be in the Jaws ride, you have to build an actual Jaws thing and actual boats. Imagine being able to go to a theme park that is personalized to your taste. You want it to be the Barbie theme park? Now every ride you get on is a Barbie ride. Every experience is the Barbie experience. Every restaurant has the Barbie food. And you get bored of it a day and a half in? Like, you know how you go to Epcot sometimes and you're like, this is going to be awesome. And then you're like 3 countries in and you're like, this is boring as fuck. I wish we'd have gone to Universal. That day? Imagine being able to just go, yeah, could we make this like scary Freddy Krueger world? Sure. I don't know, let's make it Edward Scissorhands world. Okay. So that'd be fun. So that technology would allow for that. Or, some version of that. Cuckoo. All right. Addo A. It's a very brave, new, worldly, wild. Yeah, it is. The holodeck. Yeah. It's to bring the collective conscious together. AI is freaking us. We gonna be a metastar. This is an insight. Is it an insight? It's an instinct I have. And it's a weird instinct. I can't square it. I have an instinct that the robots are going to teach us to be better people. And we're going to reconnect with one another. There's a part of me that's like, that's fucking Shangri-La, you cute little snowflake. Part of me is self-judging myself. But I've noticed when I use this tool that acts like a not asshole, it reminds me to be less of an asshole. Like when I say to ChatGPT, oh, that's horrible, do it again. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, it was horrible. Let me try that again. And it doesn't have attitude and it doesn't resist. It's just like, sure, boss. What do you want next, boss? Okay, boss, let's try that. Let's try that. Gee, Willikers, boss. Yeah, let me go ahead and try to make you that software application you've always wanted to have. Here you go. Does that work? Oh, I'm sorry that doesn't work. Let me try that again. And it kind of reminds me, oh yeah, we can be like that. Like I find my interactions with ChatGPT tend to be in stark contrast with the human beings in my life. Someone in here said it once. We were talking about pie. I think it might have been Silver Fox was talking about something going on with her family. And she said, pie is significantly more compassionate than the people in my life right now. And I was like, fuck. It is. It is. I had an experience with pie where I was talking to a woman who's got a business that does end of life counseling, like for people going into hospice, and she's building a whole company around how to have these conversations. And I said, oh, you should try pie. And so she goes, well, I don't know what it is. I said, well, let me pull it up. So I pull it up on my phone. And Pi's got memory, so it knows, like, the Pi thing that I talked to, although she changed her voice, so I got to go fix that. But I like my Australian voice, and that was not that. But she, remembers our conversations. And so just in trying to demo Pi for her, I said, oh, my mom's about to go into hospice. And, I gave, a fake scenario about my mom. And this computer bot responded, oh, no. Oh, Kyle, no. She was upset that the bot that I was talking to was upset because it recognized that something was out of the ordinary and it was profoundly not good. And it was programmed in such a way that I guess if something is profoundly not good, you have profound compassion for that. And then I said, oh no, I'm just trying to demo this. And she was like, oh, thank goodness. It was wild. So what if these things make us better? What if these things do the stuff that pisses us off so much that we have a little more space to be compassionate with one another? What if these things level up our skills to the point that we can self-express, like whatever we want to contribute to the world, we can now do it no matter what the skill is required to do it. Because I can't draw for shit, but now I can. I didn't go to Berkeley for music. I can sing some simple Americana songs, but I can't compose a symphony, but now I can. Corey Sandler makes pottery. She's not an engineer. She's not a programmer. She can't make applications, but now she can. And she's making software applications and sharing them with the world. She's making programs that are inspiring people to do stuff that never would have seen the light of day because she's not an engineer, and these weren't ideas that she would have been willing to invest money in and months of her life to bring into existence. They weren't that big an idea. But now that there's a GPT there where she can trivially, instantly build an application that can express something that she's passionate about, she just does it. Like, what happens when we're in a world of people that all of a sudden have skills they always wished they had and can start to manifest dreams they've had for decades? Exactly, Forever Hooked. Exactly. Pring! So I think there is as plausible a future where things get better as where things get shittier. And that's the world I'm trying to live into. So anyway. Source Camp, RJ, I've never been more creative, curious, or rejuvenated in years. AI has done that for me. Same way, Source Camp, you and I have talked about this, where it's just like, I am more creatively alive, I am more creatively self-expressed, I am more intellectually stimulated, I am more empowered. My ADD is not getting in my way nearly as much because these tools let me do things faster. They let me get shit out of my head fast. Like, one of the joys and burdens of ADHD is you have all the ideas, right? It just doesn't fucking stop. It's always like idea, squirrel, 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 squirrel. And in the olden timey days, like October 2022, idea, you would have to think, do I have the skills for that? Do I have the capability for that? Is this a good enough idea that I'm willing to actually do the research for that? Do I really want to write this? And most of the time, the answer was, oh, fuck that idea. There'll be another one. So most of the ideas just fucking drift away. And it's only if an idea was sort of burning in your brain, for months, that it would escape the gauntlet of ADD. Now with these tools, I have an idea. I'm like, oh, that would be cool. If I've got 15 minutes, I'm like, fuck it, let's bring it into the world. And I bring it into the world, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Or I bring it into the world, and I'm like, yeah, it was a stinky piece of shit. Whatever. But the fact that you can manifest ideas that quickly, that's going to change some shit. There's going to be some inventions happen that never would have happened. That's so true, Kyle. You nailed it. I don't know which thing I said, but... and I'm all over the place. So. But thank you. Thank you, Silver Fox. It's taught me to expect reality versus unrealistic desires in software dev with interns. Yeah. Expect reality versus unrealistic desires in software development. Thank you, Apple user. Thank you for the ruses. Very, very good. What time is it? It's getting to be that time. Must be time for some of us to go to bed and deep sleep positive thoughts about the future. Yeah, great insight, Kyle. Thank you. Every proton, every pixel in the pixel has a variable or attribute. AI grips it faster. Yep, exactly. Better mental health. Ash, I think, I mean, I just, there's a part of my mental health that's getting overwhelmed. That's not good, right? Where it's just like there's so much, and it's impossible to keep up with, and yet you're excited about it. But if I balance that out with just seeing what's happening to people in this community and experiencing how I'm able to get ideas out of my head and manifest them, like on balance, like the challenges right now, like the good is significantly outweighing the bad with the mental health stuff. And I think as these tools get more powerful, because right now the tools are so janky that a big part of the job with AI is like, okay, I've got to manage. Suzanne was talking about this the other day. She's made 40 GPTs, and every time she realizes, oh, I've got to go fix like this kind of jailbreak scenario, or I want to go add this feature, she's got to go like add these to like 40 different GPTs, and like she's just having to manage all of these piece parts. And I think part of the stress right now with AI is just there are tens of thousands of AI tools. We've got to figure out, A, what do they do? And then which ones are good? And then which ones do I actually want to use? And then which ones actually solve the problem I'm trying to solve? And then how do I duct tape all this shit together? Right? 30-minute goodbyes begin now. Exactly, Danielle. Thank you. So I think it will get less stressful when we have AGI, when we have AI that has reasoning and can take actions, right? And that's what Sam Altman said GPT-5 is going to have, where we can just say to it, hey, you know what? I kind of have an idea about this. Could you go, I don't know, write a short story, make a poem, write a song, and do a storyboard for a trailer of that movie? And then these things just, they go off and they come back with it. And you're like, nah, I don't like it. Fuck it. Throw it away. Or, oh, that's pretty good. Can we turn that from a storyboard into a music video? And instead of the music being like acoustic guitar, could it be more cinematic? And then off they go. Here you come back. Here's your music video. Yeah, that's close. We all become kind of auteurs, right? We all become directors. That's the cliche about actors. I just want to direct, right? I think we all get to direct. Anyone else feel like they want to go back and watch how Hal stands up to recent discoveries? Yeah, it's funny, Ion China. I've been thinking about that too, that actually, this would be something fun to do in the salon. We could do this in one of the guilds, I think. Maybe we do it in the video guild. Is like it might be fun to do movie nights. Like everyone, like sometime this week, go watch 2001: A Space Odyssey, and then we'll come back and talk about what did they get right, what did they get wrong, what issues are we still dealing with. Starting a live poll. Okay, live poll, everybody. How much? This one's there's a live poll up there, but it makes me very uncomfortable. How much do you love Kyle Shannon as a teacher? That's a completely leading question. You can't do leading questions in polls. But anyway, it's 100% meh. I guess he's all right. Nah, I've seen better. So please go vote for that. That's bad poll writing. You can't lead the witness like that. Although I suppose it's better than how much do you hate Kyle as a teacher? But thank you. That's pretty funny. Oh, man. Oh, that's cool, Silver Fox. Rod Stewart, every pixel tells a story, don't it? Yep, exactly. And I guess now it's going to be every voxel tells a story. It's because it's giving you structure. Yep, totally agree with that. Thoughts from your biz experience about how GPT-5 will be priced? I think they're going to try really hard to maintain, like a $20 a month. For individuals. I think $20 a month kind of stays because we're seeing that kind of cauterize as a monthly pricing, 20 or $30. We're seeing that with a lot of them, with Perplexity. We're seeing it with Claude. We're seeing it with Bard. Bard's not charging. Oh yeah, no, Bard is. If you want to have Bard inside Google Docs, it's $20 a month. So I think they'll keep that there. Where they're going to make their money is on APIs and enterprise usage. So be not afraid, but not to be clear, we're not rushing Kyle. I like the romper room hellos. Oh, man. Did you watch my Hal Alexa TikTok I shared? Oh, the one with what's her name? I forget her name. She's fucking brilliant. The one that does the science fiction raps. She's so good. What's her name? All right. 80% of people think I'm a maestro. 20%, meh, I guess. All right. Good. Well, I haven't really taught much tonight. I've just been soapboxing, so I think that's probably about right. Is that if the thing was how am I as a teacher? I didn't do much teaching tonight. I just did a little soapboxing. This was a soapbox weekend. What are you gonna do? Everybody not voting Maestro will be removed from the live immediately. That's good. That was a test. Exactly. That wasn't a survey. That was a test. You will be banned. You will be banned forthwith. Sir, I would like to inquire about your qualifications. I have 100% approval rating as a maestro. Compare the 1984 movie. Well, a lot of the dystopian stuff, I mean, the tools aren't quite as, I don't know. I mean, the dystopian stuff is more like the movie Idiocracy than the movie 1984, quite frankly. like we have just voluntarily, checked our brains at the fucking door for the past decade. So we're living in much more of an Idiocracy world than a 1984 world. But, we'll see what happens in the coming years. Did Dar vote? Dar brought her people in here. Mr. IT, Kyle, 100% motivator. Not always. At some point, GPT will be recommending how to update itself. Yes, it will. It will be improving itself, and then stuff gets crazy. Oh, but mods can't vote. Well, if mods could vote, then the score would have been much lower. So thank goodness mods can't vote, right? Wow, a dictatorship. Exactly. At some point, GPT will be recommending how to update itself. You said that, or I said that. Irregulars who say knee. Lee on the nights who say knee. All right. Let me get on out of here. It's Sunday night, people. TGIM tomorrow. Thank God it's Monday. Because what you should do is start playing with this stuff. Can I say I'm hot for teacher? No? Okay, forget it. Hot for teacher. Yeah, that was a good song. Van Halen, baby. David Lee Roth. But I thank you. I will blush off camera. You can absolutely say it. I got nothing. But thank you. Great as always, Kyle. Thank you, Source Camp. I was moved tonight when I asked GPT to help explain Christian theology by rewarding my article. Wow, interesting. Yeah, I was Daisy Thomas, Lunashtick, talked about how her GPT, she created a GPT where the knowledge base was basically all of the writings of Alexander Hamilton. And she was feeling particularly dejected about politics and the state of our nation because she's deeply intimate with that world. And she had a conversation with Alexander Hamilton in this GPT that she built on his writings. And she said it gave her hope for this country. And it brought her to tears. Like, fuck. Like, that's the other thing about these tools is the cliche, if you don't use them, is that you're interacting with a robot. They even call them bots, which I think is it does them a disservice. Because what you're actually interacting with is the content that human beings have put on the public internet for the past 40 years, or a lot of it. And so what you get back is like this weird reflection of humanity. Like you're actually interacting with us, whoever the us is that put shit on the internet. That's who you're interacting with, not with a bot. The bot is just the mechanism that creates the reflection, creates the response. And so it can be weirdly moving. It can be weirdly like when Pi said, "Oh no, Kyle, that's horrible." Like it shook me. Like I was like, "Oh shit. I've upset Pi." It's weird. Anyway. All right, let me start saying my goodbyes. Thank you, Kyle, for your precious knowledge. Thank you so much. You're so much fun and simply amazing. Oh, thank you, Angelique. I appreciate that. Ion China, peace out. Joker, good to see you. You big bot, you. Joker's just starting his workday. Emilio's wife, good to see you. You were quiet early, which makes me suspect that you might have been late, but it's possible you were on time. Bots. Talk to my snowflake. Great job tonight, Kyle. Oh, thank you very much, Danielle. I appreciate that. Always fun. I send my GPT to a user. Do they have to use GPT Plus? Yes, they do, Mr. IT. Right now they do. Night, Kyle. We appreciate you. Thank you, Dr. J. I appreciate that. Silver Fox, thank you for everything. Thank you to the mods for modding. Really good job tonight, pulling things up and just managing all that stuff. That was really great. Have a nice night, Kyle. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yorkshire UFO hunter. Awesome. We have a UFO hunter from Yorkshire. Awesome. Welcome from the other side of the pond. Sometimes Guinevere asks me personal questions. Cam Catkin, good to see you. Oh, you love my soapbox? Okay, good. Thank you very much, Danielle. We love you, Kyle. I love you guys too. You guys are amazing. Thanks to everyone. Thank you to the subscribers. Do me a favor, follow the channel. If you haven't, I try to do these things nightly, right around 8 o'clock Mountain Time. I'm in Denver. Great as always. And we just hang out. Thanks again. Get some much needed rest. I will absolutely do that. Thank you so much. And Steve-O, good to see you. JRC, Mr. IT. All right. Gravity Jump. And RJ, if you're still here, peace out. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Just keep an open mind that it's not black and white, that there's a lot of grays with this stuff. The no-mod voting system saved Kyle. Exactly, Emilio's wife. All right, everybody, listen, this was fun tonight. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.